Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Love Island All-Stars UK Season 1, episodes 14 through to 19. Now, Chris, bit of drama this week, which is what we love. Where would you like to start today?
Well, Dave, you brought up a lovely award that has been tagged to this show and most of the reality shows we do. And all I keep thinking of as I watched every episode is which one of these fucking bellends is the bellend of the week, Dave? There is some exceptions. There is actually a couple of people who are winning me over and are quite nice people and actually have fucking morals, Dave, but there's plenty that don't. So this week has been one of the most frustrating watching from, I don't know whether the audience is, for me personally, I'm like, what the fuck? But there's a few of them, but Georgia S, Dave, I'll start with. She initially gets my bell end of the week, but someone does trump her. What world is she living in? Does she not think that we can't see what she's doing? She's having these sly conversations behind Callum's back with Tom, obviously with fucking Toby, who's another bellend, and you've got all this stuff going, but then yet she cannot see it, and she's like, I don't like drama, I don't like it, I don't want that. And I'm like,
just always seems to follow me.
For real? Yeah, are you for real? And then she had a bust up with Molly. Quite rightly, Molly pulled her. She's just sly. She's just so sly, and obviously she's playing the game. We've seen it. She's almost doing what a lot of the guys do, Dave, where it's that, like, you know, telling everyone what they want to hear. But I don't know what her game plan is because she's coming across really poorly and also so frustrating to watch.
I think, I mean, sly is a good word. I hadn't thought of that one before for her, but that is kind of what she's doing. And I think there's a big lack of self-awareness there as well. I think she genuinely believes what she's saying, you know, because she's so committed to it. Like in the conversations in the last episode with Callum, you know, she's saying, well, what am I supposed to do? And Toby's put his heart on the line there, you know, how am I supposed to feel about that? You know? And I'm like, God, you sound convincing, but no, I think it's bullshit. And the stuff with Toby, I can kind of half get behind because, you know, they'd obviously had history together. Not enough that would stop them coming on this show, Chris. Of course, none of them would like each other enough for that. But, you know, they've obviously had this history before. So she's getting on with Callum, but it is hard, like, and because she didn't really have a big say in that. It was more Toby being a dick, and there's plenty of barrels left for Toby. By the way, we'll come to him in a bit.
Oh yeah,
but you know, so I could kind of get that one, but it pissed me off more, I think, the way she was giving Tom the fucking goo eyes, and she was giving him all the fucking green lights. And we gave Tom some stick for, you know, having his head on a swivel back in his season. But, you know, she was basically putting it all out there, wasn't she? And then she goes into the hideaway, though, with Callum saying, oh, I wouldn't like, you know, I'm glad I'm here with you. I wouldn't want to be here with anyone else. She's saying all these committal type things and just saying completely the opposite to Tom. And it's only because Tom gave her nothing, absolutely zero. You know, she's saying like, oh, yeah, having a flirty conversation or something. We've seen Tom have flirty conversations, and that was not it. He's, you know, got his head firmly pointed towards Molly, and Georgia S doesn't like it. So, yeah, I think she's close, but I think, to be honest, I think Georgia S is runner-up bell end of the week for me. I just think it is the slyness, you know, maybe snake of the week. Maybe you'd get that.
yeah, snake of the week. And I think you're right, Dave, because like you said, the situation with Tom, and what frustrated me watching it, and I know a lot of our friends on Facebook in the chat were saying that, was she's telling all this stuff to Tom. but then gets picked to go in. Then everyone picks her and Callum to go in the hideaway. And she says straight away, I wouldn't want to be with anyone else.
Yeah.
I'm like, you've just been telling Tom, you basically fuck Callum off. You don't fancy him. You're not going to sleep with him. Callum's all in. And every time Callum sees her, the poor guy's there. I felt that sorry for him by the end of the week. He's like, yeah, I believe you. I believe you. Because she's saying all the words going, Callum, you know that I want to be with you. And I'm like, you're a fucking liar. Absolute liar. And you know what frustrates more than anything, Dave? In the world we live in, and you get words all the time, quite rightly, and used in the correct context. Why should, empowerment? I'm just telling my truth. I'm doing, all these words, you hear them all the time now. No, but you know what I mean? Because of the woke world we live in. This is that some of it I can go with but she's saying all these words, which she thinks enables her to be a complete bellend. And they're not. Bad behavior is bad fucking behavior. You can hide behind any word you want. They don't mean anything. She's saying stuff that she thinks gets her out of jail for just being a snake. And they don't. She's just, I don't get it. I don't, honestly. She's come across so fucking poorly. And she was saying at the start once, I mean, you'd said like how young she looked and in the first time round, and she looked really, really young. She was about 18, but she was about 14. It was really bad. But then now she tells us all how grown up she is. She's got a fucking fringe and that. And it's like, no, you're being a dick. You know what I mean? Like, how are you expecting to come out of this? And then even the girls are not buying it. The girls, when it all kicked off, and we'll get into it, but Arabella ends up with Callum and they're laughing. And I don't get what she's trying to get. It seems to be any lad who gives her attention. She's just playing Callum like a fiddle. And luckily, Callum's onto it. He's like, look, if you want to get with them, just fucking do it. Knock yourself out. I'm not interested. And I thought Callum come across really well this back end of this week, Dave. Really well. His speech, everything. I thought he did really well.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Chris, I probably don't like any of this lot. However, I will say Callum this week sort of won me over a bit. I thought he conducted himself as well as he could be. I think the only criticism I have with Callum is sometimes he's his emotional intelligence isn't the highest, but I think he knows that as well. And I am glad. I was pretty glad about that fire pit conversation by the end, that he was sort of saying, well, that is totally down to you. And she was trying to twist the truth, wasn't she? She's almost trying to gaslight him to say, oh, you're not validating me. You're not. That's what I mean. You're saying my feelings aren't valid. And he's saying, no, they're completely valid. Just don't expect me to sit around here. So, but she kept going back to it. It's like, no, you're saying I shouldn't feel the way I feel. And it's like, are you getting these out of a Christmas cracker or something? These kind of stock lines that you're just repeating out of context. It's like, listen to what he's actually saying. He's not just going to sit there like a mug, which, to be honest, he has been for the last fucking week or so, because he's only had eyes for you. But, you've been giving Google eyes to Tom and now Toby. I mean, she's saying about why, I've only had 24 hours to process it. Well, how about Toby is a massive fucking bellend who is basically a child in a man's body and can't make his mind up on fucking anything. And Chris, I'm so done with him. I think by the time he got together with Chloe, I was kind of like, you know what, maybe, I'm kind of warming to him, his cheeky kind of persona and stuff. And maybe he's done some growing up in there. He's done fuck all growing up, Chris. He's just playing around. And I don't know, I'm sure I said at one of the previous episodes, at what point do you say, no, this is a person playing around with people's feelings and ultimately not giving a fuck? It's not just that he's being a bit boyish, boys will be boys, all that sort of stuff. No, he's just being a dick, is what he's being.
Yeah. And you're right. And he does get, for me, our bell end of the week. We talk about Georgia there. Toby, fucking hell, what? You're so right. What gets me is, Dave, him and Callum don't like each other at all. But you mentioned Callum around him and he's sniping, he's bitching, he's like throwing, when Callum, when they had to have the discussion after the fire pit, when he picked Georgia, and it's like, he's about 5, you know what I mean? It's like, Can you pick your fucking quilt up off the floor? Oh, do I really have to do that? Oh, right. And it's like, it's bad behaviour. You're so right, Dave. I remember now, especially when he was on the first time round, he was really, really not liked. And then when he started just flipping and flopping, it became just a joke, didn't it? Like, we were all laughing about it in the end. Like, when he come back from Castro Moore, like, it's just Toby. And he ended up with Chloe, like you say, from nowhere. And he picked it, didn't he? Just randomly. Same scenario, he's done it again. And what I don't get about it, what made it even worse, was Georgia took him up on it straight away. Oh, we've got history. Callum, we've got history. What fucking history? All you people do on these shows are pretend to go out with each other because we need a storyline. What have you done? Met each other at some fucking premiere of a fucking envelope opening or something like that. Nobody cares. You absolute fakers. And Toby then is disrespectful to Arabella. Well, and as you said, Dave, validation, saying all the words about, well, I've got to go with my heart. I've got to do this. I've got to go with myself. If I don't take a chance, it's like, what chance? You're not even, I mean, I'll be honest. Arabella looked at it and thought, oh, this is perfect. This is me becoming the main character. He was completely out of order, but she did also act as if they'd been in a 10-year relationship and she'd come home and found him in bed with the best mate. It was sort of like that meme, you know, when you see the girl on stage crying, but then she sees the camera and she winks at the camera, like laughing, and then carries on crying. It was like that. It was like she was looking up when all the girls were around her. That was her perfect opportunity because she was acting completely over the top, Dave. I'm not saying there wasn't embarrassment because she was sort of embarrassed and he was bad. It was also to say, well, you're nothing, you know, I don't like you. You're not good looking. The way he did it was awful. I'm not saying she can't be upset, but my God, did she get them fucking Kleenex out, Dave, and pull the tissue? I just kept thinking she's looking side eye at the camera. Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Oh, so she did completely get away. However, she was validating the fact that he was being a complete dick to her, and it was awful. And Callum's speech, again, I said it before, really good. He said, you emotional immaturity, had a pop at him saying, why are you sitting with me? You need to sit with her. And she give it him. And he sits there when he's one of them people, Toby, when he gets bollocked for doing something wrong, he then tries to do the old, oh, I don't know why they haven't go at me, trying to get everyone on side, feel sorry for him. And it's like, no, bad behaviour is bad behaviour, mate. You can't do this. Them two are going to be together. When they got in bed, I loved when Callum and Arabella, she's like, they're turning. She's just smirked as soon as he got in bed. And then he puts his arm around her, and Chris is the same. And then Chris is shit stirring it, innit? Where like Joe's like, you haven't had a good night's sleep, did you? You know, like, you shit stirrer, you know what I mean? But it's just nonsense. And what a pair together. Let them stay together because, one, they're not going to win it. And we're just going to remain friends. We tried, but because there's no fucking magazine deals for you two bellends because nobody's going to take you up or believe this shit. Absolute dickheads of the week, Dave, as well. Bellends of the week and dickheads of the week, them two.
There's so many to choose from because I thought the same, and the thing is, I was feeling like a little shred of sympathy for Arabella, but like you say, when she's giving it the full on waterworks as if they've been together for ages, and they had this really deep, meaningful relationship, and then giving it the old, why is it always me?
I know.
Cameras, where's the cameras? Oh, over there. Oh, it's always me. And it's like, oh, get over yourself. Fucking seriously, this leggy blonde model. Oh, woe is me kind of thing.
Stunning. Yes, stunning.
I'm sure you have all these problems in life, don't you? Because you're so fucking good looking. So I don't, Chris, I said it before, I don't think I like any of this lot, but I think it was harsh. And I agree that the way they use these little sound bites, these little sayings, again, Toby, he's like Georgia S. You know what? They are the perfect pair together, to be honest. And they can be unhappily fucking together for forever, bullshitting each other. Because when Toby's talking to Arabella, he said, oh, yeah, I've got to follow my heart. Oh, there's one off the Christmas cracker list. Got to speak my truth. Oh, yeah, there's another one. It's just, oh, fuck off. Yes. So the pair of them are just as bad as each other. But, I mean, I don't know where that I honestly, I hope, even if Georgia S goes back to Callum, I hope he tells her to sling a fucking hook. But I do feel like Georgia S. and Toby will end up back together. And, I sort of said this about Liberty, obviously, who went earlier in the week, that she seemed to be getting in there and wanting to replay the same storyline from her main season. The fact that she's got with this guy, she's a good girl, but, the guy she's with is a bit of a dick. And that made me suspicious why she made a beeline for Mitch. And I still think that she was trying to replay that storyline. Do you not think the same could be said for Toby? Is it, even for me, this is a bit cynical, but are they literally trying to say, okay, the public perception from my season is this. This is the character I am. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to try and recreate that storyline as closely as I can.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it's worked in the past. And there was a financial reward at the end of it for most of them, Dave. It's just, what do you think of thinking, Dave? You said, and you're right. I say another one who was almost Bell under the week, Georgia H. So Anton's there. You can't love someone or love someone. You can't garner an attraction if there isn't one there. But Anton has come across so well in this show. He's like what everybody, as we're older, you're like, these are the people you would want your kids. But, the way he's acting on the show anyway, he looks like he's a gentleman. He stood up for some of the girls. And then you've got these absolute dickheads. And Georgia hates, she can't shut up. She's always got something to say. She thinks she's the main character at times. And I don't get it. But also, and some of the things she's done is questionable. But it's there with Anton. He's a good guy. But yeah, you're still picking dickheads, you know what I mean? And the fake relationship with Casey, I'm just like, honestly, that was the point where I wanted that meme where the guy jumps out of that office when they're having that board meeting, the classic fucking, meme where he just opens the window, just jumps out. When coming and jumps out, really, I know him, really know. And and honestly, I'm sat there, I literally wanted to slap myself in the face. I'm like, oh, fuck off. This is another fake relationship where you were at some fucking nightclub meet and greet, Casey and you together, and she's making it out like there was some fucking relationship. Like Callum and Molly were 3 years down the line. They had a dog. They wanted to buy a house. They were a proper relationship, Dave. I always question them. They were in a real relationship, as are some of the other contestants who were still together, who've had kids and married. So there is success stories on Love Island. Georgia H was never properly with Casey. And I'm like, oh, fuck off. This is now going to be the storyline now with Casey. And Casey's, and I'm just like, I'm not buying it. I am not buying it at all. It's like they get together in production before and go, right, we're going in. Where have you been seen together at a premiere? Or where have you been? Are you with the same talent agency? Right, we need to get a few pictures up. Right, you were in a relationship. Like X on the Beach, which I know you never watched. That's a very similar setup. This is what I'm struggling a little bit. I've enjoyed this show and I have enjoyed it when it kicked off and some of the things I've enjoyed, but I haven't enjoyed this whole X on the Beach vibe where every fucker incestually has been with each other, allegedly. I don't believe anybody has other than probably Molly and Callum, realistically, but everyone else is just like, yeah, we got together us. Yeah. Oh yeah, we were a thing. Oh, really? Where were you a thing at? I don't know, but I got told to say that by my agent. We were definitely a thing because it's good for storylines. And honestly, it's fucking nonsense at times, this show. And I love it and fucking hate it as well at the same time, as you can hear my voice. I was just so frustrated when I heard that. It fucking annoys me.
So I'm equally annoyed. However, I think I'm not going to be quite as cynical as you in terms of have they actually been together on the outside. You get these people at these events, like you say, hand out a leaflet, do the old David Brent at a nightclub, handing out free T-shirts, something on student union night. I believe, because these will be invited to the same events and stuff, these young, beautiful people, they're going to get together and have a bit of sexy time every now and then, aren't they? All of them. Like fucking, so I believe that there has been some kind of relationships, relationships loosely. There's been some fumbling around probably, right?
Yeah.
So fucking Anton is there. I mean, how you can't fancy Anton? I fucking fancy Anton. It's like he's literally there, and I think the best thing Anton could do is probably pursue someone else, and then she might be interested then, because he's like right there, and she's not interested at all. She's just like, oh, thanks, mate. You kept me in. Still not interested, like. Although I think, in the last episode, she did say that she was a bit, interested. But, I mean, that was such a cynical fucking move. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to give you just enough to make you think there's a chance. But, yeah, there's no chance. But honestly, Chris, when Casey, I think Casey's another one who, he's a bit of a fake nice guy, isn't he? He wants to be everyone's best mate, but, he's quite single-minded in terms of what he wants as well, so he plays it. It's like, oh, no, I'm only trying, I don't like upsetting people or whatever. Well, stop doing it then. But honestly, Chris, it gave me, them two speaking together gave me my favourite fucking moment of the week, because you can see we're getting this one-sided part of the story, aren't we, from Georgia H. She's saying, oh, yeah, just totally ghosted me, and whereas you can see Casey seems like quite oblivious to what's going on. And then it's when they were sitting together and he's like, right, look, okay, I'll tell you what it is. It's when you said you were speaking to my granddad.
No.
It's like, just suddenly my mind wanders to that moment, probably a comedy look to the camera. It's like, right, this is not for me.
This is The Office, isn't it? This is
because, again, I don't know how much I buy it. All the spiritual, let's do a bit of meditation and whatever. Oh, yeah, that also means I'm a fucking medium as well, because I can do a downward dog. So it's just, but yeah, honestly, I think, girls, if you're listening, generally, most of us guys, if you say that, you're in touch with the spirits or whatever, it's danger, Will Robinson. And most blokes would run to the hills, to be honest. So I can sort of sympathise with Casey a bit there. But honestly, Chris, I was crying at that scene because he was sort of like a bit perplexed, a bit apologetic as well. And again, I'm just being a dick, like just in my mind going to this comedy scene and him just running for the hills, and then she's thinking she's getting ghosted, so she decides to block him on Instagram. There's nothing more mature than that, is there? It's like, you're ghosting me, so I'm going to block you. Talk about fucking attention seeking. So yeah, Chris, there you go. I said some nice things about Anton, didn't I? I was just going to say, I've just been lambasting fucking everyone.
Oh, it's been, and you know what? I know that we love when we talk about it, but it's like getting through it sometimes and having to sort of go along with the storylines of like, none of this is real, and yeah, that's the one thing I'd say that this is different and I've enjoyed is, yes, they're now telling us they've all been together because they know what the audience wants. Whereas when we're trying to learn about the new contestants, it takes about a week or so to sort of suss everyone out, doesn't it? And when people come in and then you forget about contestants on the main Love Island, it's 2 months long, isn't it? There'll be someone at the start who was the main character for a couple of episodes. And then you're like, oh, fucking hell, I forgot about them. They left weeks ago, and all that. And then you're left with the rest of them. So obviously we're going into like, we're over halfway now. This is like week 4 of 5. So we've only got 2 weeks left. So some would say, thank God, Dave. You know what I mean? I have enjoyed it. I really have enjoyed it. But yeah, it's funny because you just like, we know like the way these people work, how they got to the table. They know how lucrative it's going to be. We mention it over and over. And it's just, it's brilliant to hear you rant, because I've ranted, you've ranted about all this, and that's exactly what this podcast's about, Dave, just taking the piss. I love it. Absolutely love it. So anything else, mate, before we go?
We talked about Chris last week, and, he's been a bit of a dick again to Arabella, really. But I didn't really appreciate how kind of snaky he was with, like, basically telling Toby about what the boys were saying. And, seem like there's a real fracture in the group now, isn't it? Or the boys, at least. So yeah, again, not really enjoying Chris a lot this week. I think he tries, to play the clown quite a lot. But I mean, if you think back to his season, the only reason he got, a bit of fame, if you like, from that season was because of the salmon. He was quite fucking boring when he came in. I think he didn't really do anything from what I remember in his season. And I think, in that first week, I do think, he comes across quite funny, quite self-deprecating and stuff. But yeah, there's just a few things that I've seen that I don't find as, I find a bit distasteful.
I think as well, and you're right, he's 33. So obviously him and Hannah were the oldest ones in there. Hannah's gone. Obviously, we didn't talk about Hannah and Tyler have gone, and Mitch and Liberty went, I was quite shocked by Liberty going. I thought she'd have been saved, but it was a public thing, which is good. And it was fuck all between them two anyway. However, he's 33. He's sharing a room with like some of the people in this who are like early 20s. It's like a brother and sister type scenario, isn't it? So he does sort of stand out, but also it's like you're 33 and you're back on Love Island.
Grow the fuck up.
yeah, do the silly salmon, Chris. You know what I mean? Like, but you can only be Peter Pan for so long in these sort of shows, Dave. You know what I mean? No, but you know what I mean? Like,
go down that route.
No, let's not go down that route. But I just mean, he's acting like younger than what he is, any sort of thing. We all like to act like that, but I don't think it really works this time. And because he's older, he's probably tired of it all. He knows it's an elevation for the platform that he needs to keep on living that fake I don't need a real job life that they all are aspiring to. But yes, I don't think he's come across well. I said when he first come in, I really liked Chris and he was great on that other show and that, but some of his decisions and some of the comments, and you can see he's a shit stirrer. I mean, I do like it when he drops in a few, how have you gone on last night then? Is everything all right? I do like that because we know that's a loaded question. He knows exactly. He feels to me more of a producer plant than any of them because he's been front and center throwing lines in from the start and doing things from the start. Like the thing we found out with Ekin-Su when she got told the producers pull everyone at the front door, say, can you just come to the front door? And the next minute, World War III breaks out and someone's getting fucking thrown under the bus. So there's an argument just comes from nowhere. And apparently, Dave, allegedly, I may have heard that sometimes some of the contestants, I've got to tell you about this, Dave, some of the contestants may get offered money to ask a question that they know is going to cause controversy. Just what I've heard, Dave. Well, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So that also plays into how all of a sudden things happen. So Chris is probably earning a right load of fucking...
A bit like the government, really.
well, allegedly, David. Yeah. How you would come to that conclusion, I do not know, Dave. But yes, apparently that is one of the things. If people are uncomfortable, they'll drop him a bag of sand, Dave, which is Cockney rhyme and slang for £1,000, which also means £1,000, I believe. A question, but there you go. Allegedly, that's what I've heard, Dave. There you go.
It'd be hard to pass that up, wouldn't it? Grander question.
I'd be happy to do that. Yeah, I'd do that as well. Me to ask? Yeah, I'd ask about 20 questions. What's that? Yeah, no problem. What? He's a wanker. Yeah, no problem. I'll start that off. Let's go for it. So, but yes, so that would play into it. But no, honestly, I've enjoyed it for what it is. It's been frustrating, but also I love talking to you about it. I just love talking about it.
And do you think we're going to have any actual fucking all-stars? Because we got sort of Joanna. Joanna's like, she was famous because she split up Michael and Amber.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, she was just like a catalyst. She wasn't like a main character. No. We get fucking Casey. We've got in a lot of the kind of side characters, I feel. We haven't had any of the big fucking, the big characters. I mean, obviously Molly May's actually got a career, hasn't she? So she definitely would be back. And Tommy, and they're together, obviously. But
Amber was big, Ovi, they were big, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. But you know what I mean? Some of those big characters. Flashbacks. So maybe when there's I'm going to try and avoid using the word big. When they've made, there we go. When they've made it, maybe they just get the call and they're not interested in coming on this. But the rest of them, the sort of side characters who are doing the fucking appearance at an Ibiza nightclub or something, then they're the ones who come on. So yeah, I feel it's slightly let down by some of the people who've been coming on, to be honest.
That's an intentional comment. Anybody who listened originally will get that reference, but there you go.
That is a deep cut, isn't it? That is one for the long-time listeners.
That's a 4 or 5 year joke, that one. It's kept going. Anyway, right. Compose yourself. I apologise. Compose yourself. But no, you're right. It's felt like, you know what it felt like? So me and Dave, obviously, we do another podcast called The VHS Strikes Back, and we've just covered a film called Death Ring. And when someone suggested it, right? So I watched the trailer for the first time, and it went, "This is how this Love Island's gone," and it went, "Death Ring," and it goes, Swayze, McQueen, Norris, and fucking Drago, which meant nothing. We was, Ivan Drago, but we're thinking, Patrick Swayze, Steve McQueen, who else did I say? Oh, Norris. No, it's the siblings. It's Patrick Swayze's brother. It's fucking Chuck Norris's son and Steve McQueen's son, who are all fucking not even Z-list fucking actors. And it's one of the worst B movies you've ever seen, readily available on YouTube. But it's one of them where this is what this feels like. And they say, like, we've got the main stars from series 1. Well, Hannah was, to be fair. Hannah got proposed to on series 1 day. She was a main character with John, so that's fair. Liberty was a main character, but she left, didn't she? Because what happened with Jake? Obviously, Jake left. He was a main character of his show, not the fans' favourite, but they had a massive story in that whole Liberty Jake thing. But other than that, none of these others, and you were completely correct, none of these others, these are just, this is like when you go to a pantomime and the main person's ill or something and they get the standing coming, and it's like they're just not bringing it. They're not believable. I think that's a great point. They're not all stars. They're fucking. It's like Love Island. Wish they were stars. I don't think. Yeah. Love Island All Stars. The Timu or the Wish edition. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking bullshit. Absolute bullshit. I agree. I don't think anybody's going to come in now to rock the show. Anyone famous, Dave? Because they've all made money off the back of it, haven't they? They're not going to come in.
Oh yeah. So I mean, like I say, they don't have to have real jobs. They can do that, live that influencer life. And again, that's the other thing that I kind of liked from the not you don't get it with Love Island now, do you? They mostly are influencers who come in, or the old I'm a model, and I work part time in care or something. They always promote the thing they want to promote first, but. Yeah, you're probably right. And you're saying about not enjoying it. I mean, part of the enjoyment I get is getting wound up about it.
Yeah.
It's like, you people, you're so cynical while you're all here. However, I do enjoy it, despite the fact I love to tear strips off them. But Chris, we're going to have something called, what is it, the PDA Awards? So this is like a replacement for movie night, I guess.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, so I'm the same. And especially like with Georgia S. I want it to be shown on the equivalent of movie night. I hope it's going to be something like that. Where she's trying to fucking cuddle up to Tom and stuff. So, but I'm sure there's loads of other bits as well that are going to put people in a little bit of a pickle. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this week, to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair, I forgot about that, Dave. You're right. I'm going to be there with my popcorn now tonight watching that. Brilliant. Absolute brilliant. But no, thank you, mate. And thanks, everyone, for, sticking with us on this show. It's been great. The chat on Facebook's been amazing. If you are outside the UK, all the links for every episode of Love Island All Stars is actually on our main Facebook page, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. If you are outside the UK, we also do have a VPN link in the show notes with NordVPN, so you get a bit of discount there as well if you do want to watch it on the ITVX player, which I do believe is pretty terrible at times, Dave, but it is there. There's a lot of adverts, but it is available. So get over to the show notes and follow that link if you want a VPN. If you do want to email us, cdrealitycast@ cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, at cdrealitycast. And as always, if you do get a chance, please drop us a review on your podcast catching app for myself and Dave. We love it. Good, bad, indifferent. We'll read them out. If you're taking a mick out of me, Dave will take great pleasure in reading that out. Or if you take a mick out of Dave, I take great pleasure as well. Or us in general as hosts and that. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We love it if we do. We actually love it better when we get a bit of criticism, which is brilliant. You know what I mean? So, don't mean you can put 1-star reviews, by the way, everybody. You know, don't.
Yeah, take strips off us, absolutely. But make it 5 stars, please.
Yeah.
Say what you want.
Say what you want. The word Bellender's got to come in there for both of us at some point. So, no, thank you as always. And if you do support us, please get over to patreon.com/CD Realitycast. So, the roll call of honour for this week, and a massive thank you to everyone who supports the podcast, past and present. We really appreciate it. Is Sinead, Jessica, Katja, Sims, Andrea, Nick, Danielle, Kim, Amanda, Larissa, Helen, Nicola, Emma, Fiona, Cassie, Megan, Maggie, Zoe, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Chloe, Noreen, Joanna, Libby, Dee Dee, Susan, Hennessy, Lucky Lulu Green, and Kate Gustafson, and Lauren as well. Oh my gosh, Dave, I've not got my glasses on again. I need to wear these glasses. I'm terrible now. Awful. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone. I'm sorry for bifocals. I'm telling you. NHS, Dave, like double glazing the way it's going. But thank you, everyone. We really appreciate it.
That is amazing, mate. And like I say, despite the fact we lambast, pretty much everyone, we do sort of love this show. Chris, if I think back to this time last year when we were listening to Olivia talk,
my God.
Oh God, I said I wanted some high profiles, but not Olivia, please.
No, don't do that. That means she's going to come in now, Dave. You've jinxed it now.
Oh, it'll be my fault. I agree.
I was in a film with Vin Diesel, yeah, so important. Where was it? Well, you can see my hand in 5 minutes in, right? Great, fucking marvelous. Oh, what? Not bad. Oh no!
Oh, fucking Kai. But careful what you wish for, I guess. But it's so much fun to come on and just chat with you as well, and see the interaction with all the Facebook friends and everything. So it's absolutely brilliant. I love it. So thank you very much, sir. Thanks to all our listeners. Thanks to all our supporters. And we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.